Unleash your inner polyglot. It's never too late to learn. Learning a new language. It feels like a distant childhood dream for many adults. We remember picking up our native tongue effortlessly, yet as we age, the prospect seems daunting, even impossible. I'm too old, we lament, convinced that our brains have lost their linguistic elasticity. But here's the truth. Adults can learn languages just as effectively as children. The key lies in adopting the right strategies. Gone are the days of tedious grammar drills and rote memorization. Today, powerful methods like immersive learning, spaced repetition, and a focus on high-frequency vocabulary are changing the language learning game. These techniques, coupled with a dash of motivation and well-defined goals, can have you conversing confidently in a new language, all within a surprisingly short time frame. So, if you've ever dreamed of speaking Spanish on the sun-drenched beaches of Spain or ordering a perfect croissant in a Parisian cafe, read on. Your 6-month language learning adventure starts now. Dive in. The power of immersive language learning. Imagine being surrounded by the language you want to learn, every single day. This is the power of immersive learning. By immersing yourself in the language through movies, music, books, and conversations with native speakers, you create an environment where learning happens organically. Just like a child naturally picks up their first language, you start to absorb the sounds, rhythms, and structures of your target language subconsciously. The beauty of immersive learning lies in its ability to transform the learning process from a chore into an enjoyable experience. Binge watching your favorite Netflix show in Spanish, or belting out the lyrics to a catchy Italian song, suddenly becomes a productive learning activity. And the best part? You can tailor your immersive experience to your interests. Love cooking? Follow food bloggers, or watch cooking shows in your target language. Passionate about history? Dive into documentaries and historical fiction. Remember, the key is to make language an integral part of your daily life. Remember everything's spaced repetition systems for language mastery. Have you ever crammed for a test, only to forget everything the next day? That's because our brains are wired to discard information we don't use regularly. Enter spaced repetition systems, SRS. This revolutionary learning technique leverages the science of memory to help you remember new vocabulary and grammar rules long-term. Here's how it works. Instead of reviewing all your vocabulary words at once, SRS presents them at increasingly spaced intervals. The more difficult a word, the more frequently you'll see it. This strategic repetition helps cement the information in your long-term memory, making it less likely to fade away. Numerous apps and software programs like Anki and Memrise utilize spaced repetition, making it easier than ever to incorporate this powerful technique into your language learning routine. With SRS, you'll spend less time reviewing and more time confidently using your newly acquired language skills. Work smarter, not harder, conquering high-frequency vocabulary. Imagine trying to build a house starting with the roof instead of the foundation. That's what it's like trying to learn a language without focusing on high-frequency vocabulary. These are the most commonly used words in any language, forming the bedrock of everyday communication. By prioritizing high-frequency vocabulary, you'll quickly gain the ability to understand and participate in basic conversations. You'll be amazed at how much you can express with a relatively small number of words. Start by identifying resources that provide lists of the most frequent words in your target language. Then, use flashcards, apps, or other vocabulary-building techniques to learn and practice these words in context. Remember, mastering high-frequency vocabulary is about working smarter, not harder, and it will give you a significant head start on your language learning journey. Speak like a native. Mastering pronunciation and listening skills. What good is knowing a language if you can't understand or be understood? Pronunciation and listening are two sides of the same coin, and they are essential for effective communication in any language. Begin by familiarizing yourself with the sounds of your target language. Pay attention to subtle differences in pronunciation that might not exist in your native tongue. Practice mimicking native speakers, focusing on intonation, rhythm, and the correct pronunciation of individual sounds. There are numerous resources available to help you, including pronunciation guides, language learning apps, and YouTube channels dedicated to phonetics. Don't be afraid to record yourself speaking and compare it to native speakers to identify areas for improvement. Remember, the more you listen to and actively practice speaking the language, the more natural and fluent you'll become. The finish line is in sight. Setting goals and staying motivated. Embarking on a language learning journey is exciting, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. Setting realistic goals and staying motivated are crucial. Break down your goal into smaller milestones. Aim to learn new vocabulary each week or finish a textbook chapter. Track progress and celebrate achievements. Learning a language is personal, so find what works best for you. Reward yourself after milestones, connect with other learners, and remind yourself why you started. Keep the spark alive. With the right mindset and consistency, you can achieve your language learning goals.